been a very interesting last couple of days, hasn't it? Lots of information has been digested over on X. All the bad faith individuals have been on a massive tirade, and you just see the level of low IQ. And I was saying this as well to the Konstantin Kisin and Dave Smith debates, that people that have low IQ, they can't handle the truth that is being shown because they can't rationalize it. And as a result, they try and change it to suit something that makes sense to them, but it doesn't make sense at all. In fact, it's more emotional than it is something that you can actually rationalize and make sense of. And I think that is intellectually dishonest, first and foremost, and it goes completely against the actual truth of things. Now, the Ted Cruz versus Tucker Carlson debate also took place the last couple of days. And obviously we know that Tucker Carlson has somewhat lost the plot, lost his brain. If you actually watch the full conversation, which I did in full, not many people did. See, we live in a world where it's usually clips, just sound bites and gotcha kind of moments. And Tucker Carlson literally edited the interview with a couple of these little moments that he thought that he got Ted Cruz, but he didn't. One of the big ones was obviously Ted Cruz saying we should support Israel because it's in the Bible in Genesis 12, 1-3, that I will bless thee that blesses Israel and curse those that curse Israel. And obviously the intellectually dishonest people take that and then they create their own little narrative and they spin it and they go, well, that's not what the Bible means about that. It's something completely different. And well, Tucker Carlson, being one of the bad faith individuals now, along with Candace Owens, will say things to try and make them sound really, really smart and on par. Same with Dave Smith as well. And when you actually think about it for more than 5 to 10 seconds, you realize what they're actually saying. You can really refute what they're saying quite easily with facts and the truth. And then when they get confronted with the facts and the truth, like this particular moment with Iran trying to end the life of President Trump, which President Trump is also saying that Iran is actually doing that. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and the whole lot of them are going, well, if that is true, we should definitely go and blow up Iran. So the only reason why they would go America's involvement and that they're arguing, we're anti-war, except if you try and take out our president, we'll blow you to kingdom come. Right, okay, that seems like it's a very logical line of thinking, isn't it? We're anti-war, but hold on. Just wait just a moment. We're going to be anti-war for every other reason under the sun for America's involvement, including that if Iran has nuclear weapons, but if they dare try to end the life of our president, they haven't, but if they try, then we're going to get involved. That is the whole argument of these bad faith individuals. They will only ever go to war with Iran if they have proof, without a shadow of a doubt, that Iran has tried to assassinate President Trump. Here is the moment for you that, Ted Cruz actually annihilated Tucker Carlson on and provided real evidence of this very fact that Iran is trying to wipe out President Trump. Have a watch.
But I just want to pull that thread because it's so important. I voted for Donald Trump. I campaigned for Donald Trump. Yeah. He's our president. And we're on the cusp of a war. So if there's evidence that Iran paid hitmen to kill Donald Trump and is currently doing that, where's that? Like, what are you even talking? I've never heard that before.
Okay.
Where's the evidence? Who are these people? Why haven't they been arrested? Why are we not at war with Iran?
That's a great question to ask.
How do you know that that's true?
We know that it's true because we have been told that by the military and our intelligence community for the last 2 years.
We meaning who?
Congress has and the public. I mean, we had multiple testimonies. I can send you testimony.
Do we know the names of the people or where this happened or what they tried to do to kill Trump?
We have not apprehended an Iranian hitman trying to kill him. We know that Iran is trying to do so.
In the United States?
Yes. And by the way, like Iran...
This just seems like a huge headline, and you're acting like everyone knows this. I didn't know that.
Iran put out a whole video about murdering Trump.
Right, but I've never heard evidence that there are hitmen in the United States. I mean, trying to kill Trump right now. We should have a nationwide dragnet on this, and we should attack Iran immediately if that's true. Don't you think?
No.
If they're trying to assassinate our president?
They have been for 2 years.
Then
they
why
are
are we
enemies.
at war with them?
Well, we are trying to
Why don't we just nuke Tehran if they're trying to murder our president? There's nothing that you could do that would be worse for the United States than murdering Trump. And I just don't understand why you're not calling for the use of nuclear weapons against the Ayatollah right now. I'm serious. If you really believe they're trying to murder
the use of nuclear weapons,
whatever
that's part of the
takes.
problem of. So
what do you mean? You don't seem to take the allegations seriously. I do. If you believe they're trying to murder Trump, we need to stop what we're doing.
Tucker, we don't have any evidence. I've never heard that Iran is trying to kill President Trump. Ted Cruz. There is literally a video. Tucker Carlson, right, but where's the evidence? You see what I mean? Even if you give them evidence, you show them. And Tucker, I mean, mate, come on. Seriously, you claim to be one of the best journalists out there, and you campaign for President Trump. You know everything about President Trump, apparently, or you know lots of things that are going on in conflicts. But once again, you're saying, to Ted Cruz, if he doesn't know the population of Iran, then you should know what's going on if you don't know the population of Iran, but you don't actually know because you've never heard. And here you've got a sitting patriotic senator saying there is actual evidence, there's a video, there is testimony, there's statements. The whole public pretty much knows, but yet you don't know that Iran is trying to wipe out President Trump. Even President Trump has said it. Well, it's not good enough. So what is good enough? We've got to apprehend an actual Iranian spy or asset trying to wipe out President Trump. We've got to catch him in the act, and that would be undeniable evidence, right? So it's not good enough that Iran has stated it in a video. It's not good enough that Iran has chanted it in a video. Death to America, death to the West, all those things. That's not good enough, according to Tucker Carlson. We need undeniable proof that we have caught someone, an Iranian asset, and then Tucker Carlson will be like, "Oh yeah, okay, now it's time. Why are we waiting? Let's go blow up Iran." The thing is, Ted Cruz knows a lot more than what Tucker Carlson does, and he knows. Well, it's a great question. Why hasn't the US gone to war with Iran? Well, hello. First and foremost, you don't want another war. Secondly, President Trump is still alive. So there's no reason to necessarily go to a war if a man hasn't been killed. The president I'm talking about. But they've threatened and they've said it. They've tried. We haven't caught anyone. But President Trump is a lot smarter. You got to give him a lot more credit for that. You don't start an entire war just because someone has tried and said they're going to end your life. Okay. And if you don't have any of the Iranian assets or whatever else, that's not really a smart thing to do. And besides, Israel has gone to war with Iran. So there's that, right? President Trump is friends with Netanyahu, and Netanyahu sees this as a net positive for him and Israel, wiping out the Iranian regime, which is a fantastic thing. So, okay, we're going to put this in a logical standpoint. The US is trying to stay out of war. They're their major superpower, right? They don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon, which if they do have one, and you'd be ignorant to think they don't, especially at this stage. And by the way, Tulsi Gabbard recently said this, the dishonest media is intentionally taking my testimony out of context. Gee, who is the dishonest media? I wonder. Over on X, loads of these bad faith individuals taking what she said completely out of context and spreading fake news as a way to manufacture division. That's what these bad faith actors are paid a lot of money to do. Making another video about that. America has intelligence that Iran is at the point that they can produce a nuclear weapon. They got 60% rich uranium, meaning they can make a nuclear weapon. Within weeks to months, if they decide to finalize the assembly, President Trump has been clear that can't happen, and I agree. and you can watch a full testimony if you want. The IRGC commander, Amir Ali, whatever his last name is, live on Islamic Republican and of Iran state TV, God willing, will be able to kill Trump, Pompeo, General McKenzie, and other US commanders. So they've said it. They've made that statement abundantly clear, but Tucker's like, no, we can't go to war. The thing is, the objective is not to go to war, right? You don't want to start a major conflict, boots on the ground, that sort of thing. So obviously, Trump is playing a very smart game. We don't know what he's going to do next. No one knows except Trump, obviously. And Dave Rubin has gone, Iran's military is basically incapacitated and their nuke program almost totally gone. Israel has done this by themselves with a little bit of American superpower like might and weapons and all that. Can someone explain to me why Tucker and Alex Jones keep saying this will lead into thermonuclear World War III? If the US gets involved, it's a couple bombs to finish the job. I haven't seen anyone, literally anyone, call for more than that. And maybe that isn't even necessary. The whole doomsday messaging, the fear-mongering, it's got to stop. Charlie Kirk has even been fear-mongering himself. Like, he needs to put, and Trump, I think, had to call him to tell him to like tone it down a little bit. That was a report that I saw. I don't know if that's accurate, but he seems to have been toning it down a little bit with like the toppling of the regime, thinking that, so if we do topple the Iranian regime, that's going to lead to a great deal of conflicts. Now, regime changes have been going on for centuries, right? We already know one regime falls, another one goes in its place. Who is going to be in charge of the new Iranian regime when it falls? Hopefully not another Islamic leader, but we don't know. That's remaining to be seen. And the Iranian people, yes, they want freedom, but they need someone that can actually stand up and do a good job to lead the Iranian people. But I don't think they've got anyone. I don't think I've seen anyone yet. Can't be the Shah's son, that's for sure. Can't be the prince, because I don't think he's got the necessary stones, although he wants the Iranian people to be free. Who doesn't? You have to be sick and twisted not to want the Iranian people to be free. But then you're going, well, what are we going to do when the Iranian people are free? So Charlie's gone, if we pursue a more aggressive US military intervention in Iran, how many Iranians chanting death to America will become refugees who end up in America? Well, I end up posting on Charlie's post saying, you don't have to worry, mate, because your border's closed. You should be worried, however, if the Iranians that are chanting death to America, they end up being displaced. They're going to go where? They're going to go to Europe and possibly Australia. And guess what? They're going to, our leaders, well, probably more than likely, open up their arms and say, welcome. Hello. Great to have you here, even though you're chanting death to America, death to the West. So, Charlie, mate, come on. I know you're smarter than that. Please actually show some common sense. You're showing a little bit of emotion at the moment. That's quite evident. You claim that the border's closed 1 minute, the next minute you're going, I'm worried about Iranian people coming and flooding our borders. No, mate, doesn't work out like that. Anyway, Tucker just said we should nuke Iran if they try to assassinate Trump. Our own DOJ says that they are trying just that. Who's the kooky guy who wants to kill people now? So the only, like I said in closing, ABC News has put out a report. 3 charged in Iran-linked murder plots, with one targeting Donald Trump as revenge for killing Qasem Soleimani. So here's the thing. They praised the death of Soleimani, and now they're like, oh, enough's enough. Like, I'm sick of this. So to me, just in closing, because I know I've gone a little bit long, this entire conflict, these bad faith individuals that have a massive voice love to fearmonger. They love to run cover for an Islamic regime. And the only reason that they would go, I'm America first, is if Iran decides to knock out Trump. That would be the only justifiable reason. So, yes, okay, because they've attempted, the justifiable excuse would be, all right, we're going to go in boots on the ground. We're going to go in heavy because they attempted to take Trump's life. Not because they did, because they attempted. We're going to knock out millions of lives because they attempted. Why aren't we? That's like Tucker Carlson's entire argument and premise. Why aren't we going after the Iranians and blowing them up, toppling the regime because they attempted to take Trump's life? Not because they did, but because they attempted to. Now, imagine if they did. These bad faith individuals would be the complete and utter warhawks and warmongers. I mean, to be honest with you, I am so glad that these people aren't in a position of greater power, in all seriousness, because, wow, the level of common sense with this entire situation has just gone shoom. And loads of people listen to them. The monkeys jump on the bandwagon and go, we're anti-war, we're anti-war. Right. Until there's a but. Don't mess with Trump. They have. They've tried. So by your very own logic, we should already be blowing up Iran because they've tried to mess with Trump. You said you can't. Okay. Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.